Welcome back to HeartPath Podcast. I'm your host, Terra Kenzie Longacre, a modern day mystic, oracle, author, transformational and spiritual mentor, and embodiment coach. In each episode, we will explore topics around spirituality, empowerment, divine embodiment, resiliency of the human spirit, and heart-based business and beyond. In today's episode, we are talking with Kate Graham about OracleFest. Kate is a shamanic oracle, the creator of Empath Energetics, an intuitive development program for highly sensitive people, and the visionary behind OracleFest. She lives guided by her intuition, inspired by art and nature. Welcome. So we have Kate with us for HeartPath Podcast, and we're going to talk about you. Of course, lovely you and OracleFest, because this is something that I feel very honored to be part of, very excited to be part of. And we did a little chat the other day as well, where I was a guest for you talking about OracleFest. So I'm so happy to have you here to share your magic and inspiration with the folks here. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I would say I feel equally blessed as well and honored as well. And I really enjoy this reciprocation, all in the same week too, which is always so great. Sometimes there's
Yes,
a lag
I
time
know.
between reciprocation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
instant.
great. Instant reciprocity.
So I know like where to go, because I just want to like dive into OracleFest
Mhm,
like right away. But let's give them a little bit of a glimpse into you and your world.
mhm,
Because you're very heart-based as well, like myself. You have Heart's Frontier, which is your heart-based biz. So
mhm.
kindred connection on that level.
Yes.
But yeah, like what got you into this realm of wanting to support others more with their intuitive development um, and being able to navigate in a world where they're highly sensitive?
hmm hmm It's a very interesting question because, I mean, I
Yeah.
think this happens with a lot of people. It's very difficult to kind of break down where did it start? When did it start? Was there a specific moment? I remember when I was in college, like I was a resident advisor in RA, and all the folks on my floor would call me Guru Kate because they would come up late nights and ask me for advice on things. But I didn't ever really think about doing that seriously. Um,
Mm.
as just giving thoughts or advice or wisdom, because I think I felt like I would need to have some sort of certification or degree to prove that someone else said I could do that, and that would be the most ethical choice. So I went and got a whole bunch of different healing certifications along my own personal healing path, as I think also is where most people find
Yes.
themselves on the healing path. Is I always say, oh, I started this path by suffering, and people kind of give me a blank stare until I explain what I mean. But I mean, really, we go do it because we have some sort of sense that something is off, that we're looking to find a solution for. And I was just very focused on finding many solutions and trying to dig to the bottom of where maybe some of those symptoms or the feelings were coming from. And when I worked in person, I had a little healing space in person. It was a beautiful little location, these wooden floors in an old leather factory. Actually, it was precious.
Oh,
It
wow.
was really cool just to be around older things. It's actually rarer in Canada on Turtle Island to have like a lot of
Yeah.
depth and history to any building. So it was really beautiful and lovely. And I did a lot of Thai massage, and I would do yin yoga sessions with people, aromatherapy. I would do 2 hours, and people would just say, "Hey, do whatever you want," and so it was quite nice. I had reflexology as well that I would do, but I started getting messages through people. Like I would like feel a
Yeah.
song at someone's ankles, or I would be talking to them and then they'd be, how'd you know all that? I was just talking. So I think there was something about creating that healing space that gave me permission to start sharing messages. People would see that I had oracle cards. Oh, can we just do half the session be oracle cards? I'm like, well, I'm not trained in that, but okay, I guess. And then more and more over the years, I started valuing, actually, people would self heal everything if they had their intuition turned all the way on, because you naturally would just be going to those things that help you. And so it was like a deeper, long lasting solution to a lot of the different And all of the things I've studied and all the other healing modalities are all very valuable, but they're enhanced by a strong sense of intuition and personal like autonomy to do those things.
Yeah. Can I say, as you were sharing, I never knew that you did aromatherapy and reflexology
Yeah,
and those
Thai
treatments.
massage, restorative yin yoga, hypnotherapy, and shamanic work as well, all certifications. And that was my start was Thai massage actually. I did like advanced Thai yoga massage because I wanted a massage practice that was not going to hurt my body in years because I'd been a chiropractic receptionist in my early 20s and I saw all these massage
Right.
therapists with injuries because the standard way that we do massage was hurting their forearms and their shoulders and so they were like, I can't keep up. And I said, well, that's no way to help people in their healing is for you to be breaking down. And I saw it really early on that I was like, that's a no-go zone. And then, yeah, and then Thai massage is a lot about the giver and the receiver. And actually the whole method is that it's slower and more rhythmic and rocking and deeper, steady pressure so that the body itself releases under your pressure rather than us forcing it into some kind of way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like the movements.
Exactly. Soothing, right? Just like rocking you
Yeah.
to sleep. And most things I do, it's like rocking someone to sleep in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Their spirit, their emotions, something.
So all of that, and it's just fascinating, like to transition, and that happens for a lot of folks. Even myself, my practice was more hands-on, like that, so and aromatherapy too, and like that world. But when we're working with people and you are opening up to your spirit, the intuition, like it's not shut off. So you are going to receive information and insights, and then it's almost it pivots wherever spirit guides it. And we talked about this before, like really listening to that inner guidance and that direction of the divine and where they're leading the way. So how did and we're going to rhyme. How did OracleFest make its way to you?
Make its way to me is right. My goodness. Yeah. Because yeah, Oracle Fest is not something I expected that I was going to do at all. It was not in the plans, and I have a lot of other things that were in that schedule before Oracle Fest kind of whooshed right in there. But that's how it works. I know you know that as well. The inspiration hits heavy sometimes, and you've got to put
Oh
these other
yeah.
things. Hey, they're not as hot as this one thing. You've got to feed that flame right now. So Oracle Fest came through a series of visions continues to actually we have a bit of a relationship in the vision world, me and OracleFest, and I quite like that. Actually, I go visit the planet or star that represents OracleFest to me, and yeah, it was interesting. I had heard the word or the title OracleFest in my mind many months before, and I thought, well, that'd be cool. Oh, we should have like a little 1 day festival, and maybe it would be just like me doing a workshop and people coming out and doing readings for each other. That'd be so cute. And now it just got bigger and bigger. I'm so grateful that it did, because what came through when I actually had this vision months later and was like, okay, I need to get this, this name needs to be, I need to get the website. I've got to like lock this down as, hey, this idea has chosen me. I'm going to say yes and carry it through. I was just talking, side note, I was just talking to one of my clients today who months ago when she started the Empath program said, hey, has anyone noticed Kate looks a bit like Joan of Arc? And she put up a painting of Joan of Arc and me. And she had no idea that Joan of Arc had a really big impact on me years ago, actually in the pandemic time. Joan of Arc visited
Oh,
me quite frequently and was charging me with the same energy that now I feel. There's like a resurgence of this energy in my life, which is this vision, and then just going town to town and not taking no for an answer and saying this is going to find its way. For Joan of Arc, it was find its way to the king, and for me it's finding its way to the world. And so you know no matter what happens, that is already where the idea is going to be. And we were talking about this yesterday in our chat, so it's a bit of deja vu, but it's like sidestepping. I just have to get out of the way of it moving through me. So Oracle Fest came through a vision. I traveled through this wormhole in this non-ordinary space up in the sky. Never done that before, so that was already a standout moment. There was this planet or star that felt quite empty, and I was up at the top and I felt quite alone. And then I realized actually I was on quite a big mountain. So I was at this platform at the top of a very big mountain. That's why I felt so alone, because everyone else was actually just further on down the mountain. There were people like I knew, and then there were people I didn't know, and there were people I'd just met once or twice. Kind of the psychic like triage situations where it's like, okay, you've had this like one interaction and then that's it. And they were all on this mountain, and there was a feeling of things at the distance. And so the next time I went and visited the star, that one was more about who I was in that role and how it felt sometimes to be a bit more, okay, on our own, carrying this vision through, just me up on this mountain, as a lot of us feel in some way in our lives at some point, especially when we're leading the charge on something. And then the next vision, it was I had a conch shell and I called out and it was boo, and everyone started coming in from the horizon, and I saw crowds of people, but just in this very faint distance. I didn't know who they were. And over time, I got to realize it's the oracles all coming to meet with me on the mountain, so that we are all together on the same page, there's no hierarchy between any of us. And people would begin to make their way up the mountain. So that's why we have the Oracle Mountain Chats on YouTube, because it came from the vision that started up. Now OracleFest itself is going to be this online festival. It's going to go into in-person events as well. And I can see how my career led to it. There was lots of experience I had that said, oh, you're ready to do this type of thing because you were with the Toronto Yoga Show for many years. You've done marketing for many years. You've owned your own business for many years. You know a lot of these people actually, and actually they're ready and excited. And I love being in circles where we can talk online. That's quite comfortable for me. So and I was just a retreat manager for 2 years. Like, it's not going to be difficult for me to put on events. Right. But I was not thinking that was what I was going to do. And so it's because of the vision and what it said, here's next and here's what's next. And yeah, keep going back to it.
And taking on like as you were saying, you're like, I've been doing like everything has been leading up to this, where you have the skills and abilities to do it, because running a festival is not a small task. It's a big deal, even if it's online. Oh my God. Like any sort of festival, because you have to organize who's going to be there, how that's like, there's so many pieces to that. And I'm sure, oh my gosh, I'm sure there are people that have had dreams or visions or desires to do that, but it was too much and then haven't done it. So what, even for you, having a background and the skills and abilities to help push that forward, what do you think was the biggest driving force for you to fully commit to the vision? Because once again, like there could have been people that are like, I want to do something like that, but it was too much. So what an understanding, everybody's going to be different, but what was your driving force for that?
Yeah, I feel like, so there's a couple things coming up for me with that. One is very, very deeply the mission I feel that I have in life, in one part, is to support radical transformation and a global increase of receptivity and connection to intuition and connection to feeling present and calm enough in ourselves to hear out one another and to act from love. That would solve a lot of our world problems, I dare say. And so receptivity is really important to me. Therefore, intuition and spiritual tools are very important to me, because we're receiving some sort of message outside of ourselves or connecting to something greater than ourselves, which is, I think, how we also heal that community collective mind. When we feel connected to a greater love and greater community outside of ourselves, then we would make different decisions. And in our day-to-day or in our authoritative systems, we would make different decisions if we truly had that level of connection in our hearts. Also, sometimes it's like, you have a dream, you just keep dreaming the same dream and it gets annoying. I did not want to get annoyed by this, and I didn't want to go into someone else when it was clearly trying to find its way through me. And so at a certain point, there was a like, ooh, should I? This is getting bigger. This is bigger than I thought. Oh man, ooh, are you really ready? Like, is that going to feel like too much? Too much? I don't know. And and are you the one to carry this through? And yeah, I thought about it for a good few days. It was like on my mind as you might just have to face the facts here, Kate, you know. Yeah, it was like it was like a few months ago, and then I think I got to like the third or fourth day, and I went, "You are being ridiculous. It's already past the point of no return. How dare you
Yeah.
think you can even take away all the effort you've currently done? You're not going to do that. You might as well just step 2 feet forward at this point."
Yeah.
And since then, there hasn't been a thought of that or a question of that. So it was like a deep internal moment, though, of
Yeah.
like, are you willing to rise to, because what I say, even to the OracleFest team and to myself always, is the idea itself and OracleFest itself is bigger than all of us. So we are rising to it and we are allowing it. And so, like, what does it need is the question, not what do you want to do or what is this like for
Mm.
you, but what is it asking of you more so? And it asks a good deal of me. You're not wrong. You're not
Yeah.
wrong. It is a big, because I also didn't want it to be boring. So it's like it's a festival. It actually feels like there's like a fire for us to all sit around and online, and there's actually like a tree of wisdom. And I go, oh man, now I have to figure out how that works. And I'm the one making the website, so it's a lot of it's a lot of moving parts in this early grassroots stage. But my Declan, the manager over at OracleFest, the comms manager, he is like, hey, this is only going to get easier and easier, because this is the startup phase, and he's thriving in it. I love lighting a fire, so I might as well. But it was growing to be so big that I thought, well, this has to exist because it's so clear as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
really,
yeah.
like, how could I doubt it? It's already, well, you already know it exists because here we are.
Yeah.
But in those early stages before it feels as tangible, you do question, is this possible? Or even the questions of, is the world ready? And then I thought, absolutely, the world's beyond ready. I'm surprised no one has this yet. I'm surprised no one did Oracle Fest yet, because this feels
Yes.
like something we need. And a lot of people are really eager to get into this space where they're empowering themselves rather than just going to follow people. And that's exactly what this space is for too. So that also felt like it kind of counteracts the speaker system as well, as far as spiritual speakers, because we try and find our place, and it can be difficult to find places that really house us in a way that's authentic for our voices, and that treats us as equals within each other as well.
Yeah. And there's so much switching from the me to the we.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can almost see systems crumbling where it's like, no, this is like so much more than each individual person. It is the collective.
Embracing the
I
feminine too, really, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like a feminine movement, even though obviously all are welcome. There's an energy of the feminine receptivity, nurturing community that has to be the way forward. Has to be.
Yeah. Because it's non-invasive.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like that invitation of, do you want to come to this circle? Do you want, like,
Mm-hmm.
can you be open to yourself, your spirit, your wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
Will you be brave to push past your fears in many different ways? I,
Exactly.
I feel like Oracle Fest will be challenging people, but not in like an opposition bad way. It's like you're going to be challenged in different ways to look at fears, to push past fears, to perhaps for some who can't see their radiance or haven't been able to see it, you're going to be forced to look at it. Ah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in
I
a
love
living way.
that.
So
Absolutely.
can you share a little bit about Oracle Fest? Like what are some of the themes that'll be discussed? You were saying the Tree of Life. I know you have different elements to it. So what
Yeah.
what what are they? What are they all about?
Yeah. Okay. So first we have the sun stage, because I envisioned it like we're at a hippie festival, and maybe one day we'll all meet and it'll be Oracle Fest, real deal, in person, and we'll have our own, I don't know, some cross between Burning Man and like a city convention, some cross in between those extremes. And so the sun stage is where we have the speakers, our luminaries, as we also call them, lighting the way by speaking and or like workshops as well. We have a few sound healing practitioners. So there's going to be some experiential things as well where we, need to sit and enjoy the sound. And then there may be people also doing readings within their speaking. There could be some more workshop style, but I imagine a lot of them will be channeling messages and wisdom. And we are, gathering by the sun stage area over Zoom or over however it is we're going to be broadcasting. I still weigh out a couple different options, but yeah, that's the sun stage, and our speakers are beautiful. And there's a whole bunch of different areas. So there's tarot and astrology and galactic astrology and human design for marketing. There's like land and connection to land. There's indigenous wisdom. That's important to me. And then there's animal spirit guides, shamanic ways, intuition in general. Knowing that you love aromatherapy, we have someone talking about essential oils as the oracle, which I think is going to be so fun. So yeah, lots of really cool different types of topics. And I welcome in more, especially when it's like, oh, that's like an area that people probably would love to hear from. And we each hold this different torch, a different flame and different vibration. So even if I was talking about the same thing as someone, I know that certain people would go to them and certain people would come to me because that's who they feel drawn to at that point in their journey. And the hope is that we meet every year. And then whoever arrives is able to get connected to whoever they need to be connected to also start off that next year. So we have it January 31st to February 2nd. So it's during this Imbolc time, which also feels really fitting. And it's after the Christmas, the New Year's big hullabaloo that can be quite a lot. And so it's like really digging deep. I think it's actually well timed also for these goal setters who might be feeling overwhelmed to get inspiration to carry them through and to feel connected all the way through. And there will be community that grows from this as well. But as far as also what's at this online event, there's also a mystical market. So there's going to be some vendors offering discounts like to the VIP folks, which is so fun because you would have a market at a festival. You'd have a little like stall area. I thought that would be fun to have that and feature some cool businesses who have much more energetically aligned items and offerings. And so, yeah, we're just growing that as well. That's a newer ad. And then we have the Fire of the Phoenix, which is like a transformational online chat circle. So you're going to see a fire and then you're going to have prompts. So you might take a break from one of the speaker chats, go into that online chat and say what you're offering forgiveness to yourself for today. And then maybe a half hour later, there's a different prompt that is actually, what are you throwing into the fire to be transformed? And so we could have a lot of really cool reflective moments. And I'm excited to see, I'm sure I'll be hosting a lot throughout the time. So I'll be excited to see the chat roll after the fact. I'll probably read through it as if it's my bedtime story, just to see all the different changes people are making and what's coming up for people throughout that event. And we have a luminary library, which is going to be all free resources from all of our speakers. So you can just go and like explore, just dive into all this information. And then there's the Tree of Wisdom. So you go to the Tree of Wisdom and then you click and you will receive a message meant for you in that time. And so you could go every day and see what the Tree of Wisdom says to you that day. And so that's how that will work as well. And who knows, now after your reading yesterday, we might have a water theme. I feel like I've got to bring in something with the water. It'll be, I was like, water nymphs, waterfalls. I was Yeah, I know. I was going to sleep last night with this water thing on my mind, so you've ignited something in me. So we'll see. Because I love the idea of all the elements being involved. Like, we've got earth with the tree, we've got the phoenix fire, we've got the spirit, the sun stage, right? So that would be like the air and the sun as well. So, anyways, we'll see.
Because we're a team. We're part of the OracleFest. So they're like, hey, water.
Exactly. And I really am. I'm listening to all the speakers, like any speaker who says, hey, have you thought of this person? We're reaching out and having conversations with them as well. So it's amazing. So exciting how it's already building momentum. And that's why I feel so clear about it. It's just, there's no questioning every person who gets it, like you, I was like, you get it,
Yeah.
you know, everyone else
Yeah.
gets it. And you're coming in to be a part of this thing that we know the world needs, and has benefit to us each individually, attendees and speakers alike.
Yeah. So I have a question just to even rewind to the very beginning where you were like, "Oh, this is a great little idea. Maybe it's just going to be a one-day workshop." Like, and we'll have it like very local and not really anything more than that, but it's going to be amazing. So when was it where you're like, "Oh, no, this is not even what I'm trying to make it be or what I think it's supposed to be. This is bigger."
That's a good question, because I
Because
think it probably was. Yeah.
you're just like, "Oh, it's just like a one-day workshop." No.
No, no, and it's what, because so I actually think that now, I think it was last year that I had that idea of like, oh, I'd really want to
Mm,
do like an OracleFest, like intuition kind
yeah,
of workshop, and it was when I was at this retreat center in Scotland, and something just kept falling off about me doing these in person, like building a local group. I went, no, no, you have to be online, you have to be online,
yeah,
because this is how we grow larger, and we were able to connect up with these people who have this real deep soul connection you may not have crossed paths with otherwise. We were lucky enough to cross paths ahead of
yes.
time, but I can't say the same is true about a lot of the other speakers, even though I would have loved that. And so I think like there was something in me that said don't like hold back on the idea, because I think the no's are sometimes especially clarifying for me, because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
always someone who wanted to be able to say yes to all things, and of course you get stressed doing that. That's not a good way to like go throughout your life. And as I get a bit more wise, hopefully as I get older, I start realizing these no's feel really good now. I really love saying no when I know it's a real good no. And there was a
Yeah.
no in me that said, don't do this, don't do this thing. And I went, but it's such a cute idea and it would be so lovely, and people need it, people need this. But I think what ended up happening was, maybe less than a year later, it was the vision through the wormhole that said,
Mm.
this is bigger. You're on a mountain. It's way bigger than what you thought. You thought you were on this like empty planet with nothing around you and just dark craters. And there was, where we are building OracleFest in this visionary space, there was all these dark craters, and I was mourning. It's sad. I was sitting on this throne. This is in the first vision.
Yeah.
I was sitting on this throne, not like a queen throne, but just like sitting there in one of these like Grecian chairs that you might see the Oracle of Delphi in. It was so funny. And I was
Yeah.
sitting there and I was so sad. I kept looking over to the right, and over to the right there was all these dark shadows and craters, and it was like I was mourning anything before this that didn't feel right, and
Mm.
that stuff that in our minds didn't work out or didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. And so it was like almost like the craters of my many careers. You could just look
Yeah.
at almost the emptiness. And it was so interesting to me, because then as soon as I turned my head to look down the mountain, all the people were like, hey Kate, well, we're so happy you're here. And I went, oh, something's wrong. And everyone was so happy to see me. And as I went down the mountain, I was like, oh, they're going to be upset with me, because these people down the mountain, I don't feel like I've visited them that often. And they're going to be really upset that I haven't spent more time with them, and other people get to be at the top. And they were like, oh, it's so great when we see you. We just love when we get the opportunity to see you. I went, wow,
Oh,
I'm on something else here, right? Like I'm not thinking in the way, so it was really reflecting on like what I was seeing here. And then I felt the presence of
yeah.
people starting to come up into that crater space and say, we're just going to go to work. Hey, don't mind us. We're just going to start tinkering away. You keep getting
Yeah.
visions and stuff, but we're going to start building something over here. That made me curious. I went, well, what are we building on craters? And I started to see light cast over it, and it would start to shimmer with gold,
Mm.
which is why gold is in the OracleFest themes, why it's in all of our like color schemes, because this golden kind of shimmering light is what gave me the hope that something could be built up from all these other experiences that didn't necessarily build in the foundational way I thought they might.
Mm. I feel like everything that you just said could be relatable to anybody in the world right
Yep.
now, of like those dreams or visions, or just like all of the things that quote unquote didn't work, or just like things from the past. But look at the transmutation or the transmutation of that, of it's still here, but we're doing it different. and it's going to be different. And then
Absolutely.
all of the people are there because it's like building. When I think of OracleFest is building a community of light, or
Mhm.
perhaps it's even creating the space for the community of light to be held because they're
Yes.
already created, we're already
Yes.
here.
Yes.
But it's like, we've got a home base. Perfect. And it is going to be an in person. Like when you're
Yes.
saying that, I can see it as well. And when you were describing like the market and the different stages, I'm a very visual person, so it was like you were guiding, and perhaps other people are that are listening to this or seeing this. They felt that experience too, because it does feel like an experience. It's not just you're in a Zoom room, or
Yeah.
it has a feel to it. It it has a feel to it. It has an essence to it. It has a life to it. And isn't that interesting? Because it does have a life to it. So no wonder it's like all systems go, you must go, no pulling the plug,
Mhm.
because it has a life to it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was like, you can't just not go back to this thing you've already birthed, right? Like, there's no
Yeah.
way you could. I don't have the heart to do that to myself, right? To let it
Yeah.
go, right? It's like, okay, let's keep nurturing this. And now it's, maybe it's in its infancy, it's in its toddler stages, and it's so sweet and it's learning so much. Yeah, yeah. There is something also to me, which is like, I have a lot less to do with it than I think. In my mind, it does feel like it's finding its way through me, similar to when I write songs. It feels like the song is writing itself. I say OracleFest, it almost feels like it's creating itself, but I know it has required a lot of effort here in the physical. And when I first started thinking about OracleFest coming through that vision, like after the couple visions at the beginning, it was an in-person convention center event, because that is the model I
Oh,
was used to from doing work
yes.
with the Toronto Yoga Show for years. That I went, well, I know exactly how that could look, and I know exactly where it could be, and it would be great. And it's like, this is a lofty goal. This is great. This is great. We have the ambitions. I know you're similar to me. You said yesterday sometimes you can be a bit delulu.
Oh,
This was
yeah.
my delulu moment, being like, maybe. And I think maybe there will be, but actually
What?
doing it online was like, actually, this is going to be able to create a space for it. Some of the Oracle Fest speakers wouldn't be able to travel if we
Right.
did do one in person. So, and then some of the Oracle Fest speakers are going, oh, she's here, I'm over here, he's over here, let's meet up and let's do something. So
Yeah.
this year we're going to do some smaller in person, like mini Oracle Fests.
Yeah.
And then next year, what I really deeply crave and hope for and believe is possible is a bigger, grander, larger
Mm.
scale. I'm trying to not get swayed right now to doing an in-person nature-based, like more festival experience,
Yeah.
because outdoors has so many things that you have to think about. Like, my practical mind is going, I don't know. I don't really want to do Oracle Coachella. I'm not really down for that. And but another part of me
Oh,
is saying, well, whatever the idea is going to find its way through you. So you can complain all you want, but it'll either be this convention center, which has different issues, or it'll be a big
yeah.
festival where, and both of them have their merits. So I'm interested to see what it ends up being.
I feel like Oracle Fest wants to be it all.
It really does. I mean, it's
Yeah.
similar. It's like a like dog like owner. Maybe I'm the dog in this
Yeah.
in this case, but it's like I really feel like that's who I am too. Is I always want to be a part of everything, and it should be vast and expansive. I mean, why wouldn't it be when it's oracles
Yeah.
and the non-ordinary? It has to be a reflection of that. So when I saw it in my mind as a convention center event, there was like this part of, I had the budget even for it, just guessing how is this all going to work out. And
Yeah.
there was this part of the budget that I said, I really want an artist to create a wisdom tree where people can get
Oh,
messages from this art installation that would be a tree, and they can give
yeah.
messages and they can get them. How cool would that be? So that's why there had to be a tree of wisdom on the online one as well.
Yes. Oh, that's
Hmm.
amazing. So
Yeah.
Oracle Fest, like who is this for? Like who would be most, or who would receive the most benefit from it? Because we could say anybody and everybody, but is there a specific person, soul that's, well, I feel they're going to be drawn to it. However, Who is going to receive the most benefit from OracleFest or an experience like this?
Hmm. I see like a few different types of people kind of in my mind. And the first one is someone who has really sought out their tribe or their community. I hear that a lot, people seeking their tribe, and also who are awake to something within themselves intuitively or spirit wise. You maybe have dabbled in one or two areas, but you really want to know what else is out there, because this is like, I wouldn't say a taste tester event because there's going to be some real deep wisdom and real potency getting shared in these messages. But in some ways, you can try out different types of and different areas of focus, and you might feel really called to one. And so when we're kind of walking through life going, oh, I don't really know what my things are, what I'm supposed to be doing, this would be a perfect
Yeah.
event for that person and to answer that question. Because you might feel, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm so called to Debbie with her galactic astrology or Akashic channel,
Yeah.
right? You go, that's
Yeah.
me. And so then, or you
Yeah.
might go, Dr. Stephen Farmer and his ways just seem to speak to me so much. I need to read David's book. It'd be so obvious for people coming into that space,
Yeah.
where they feel drawn. So it's that open-minded, somewhat new or curious person. I also think it's going to have a lot of benefit for people who know that they want to give back to others and they want to be a
Mm.
part of this spiritual community of people who give in this way, some type of service or offering, like a product or a service. And then it's to like really, you can use it as an opportunity to charge you up and to inspire you. We're going to even have a panel discussion for publishing Oracle decks. So if you're curious about what that process is like, most of our speakers also will have published Oracle decks. And so you're going to learn from their experience how they work, or what their current focus is as well. And so for anyone who has this like aspirational, I'd like to be a part of this world and give in that way, I do think it could be like a launch pad as well. In my total dreamy future mind, I really want like a whole track of trainings that help people with whatever it is that they're looking to get into, and that we really help these folks who are looking to make a career or a mission out of it, not even necessarily their full income, but that is possible for people if you are really led by spirit, and that's what's asked of you. It's not necessary to have the impact that you're hoping to make, but for those people who that does feel part of their story, I think it'll be really inspiring for them. And there's also, I think, these people who are very practiced and who just go, I've kind of been on my own, or I'm getting a little bored of those same ways I've been doing things, and are looking for a bit of like a spiritual wake up, shake up, and so you might just have like a different voice that speaks to you. And people who are very experienced, sometimes we can get to a point, I see a lot of people, myself, I'm sure at some point is guilty of this, where you get to a point where you go, oh, I'm kind of done learning. And so it's like, it reignites this actually, no, we love healing. This is great to do. Right.
Yeah.
I like to keep this beginner's mind on. So for those people who are very experienced, and, for some of the speakers, it might also reinvigorate, like when I was talking to Dr. Stephen Farmer, he was saying, oh, you've really charged up my wanderlust every time I talk to you. Now I think I probably do want to do more travel again, because I'd sort of come back from it a bit. And so there's going to be, I'm inspired by everyone of the speakers that I speak to. So for those who are experienced, and for those who are the speakers, I think it will reinvigorate something that we need from it as well. That is like a reminder of more the essence behind why we're doing what we are doing, by allowing community to gather. And you're so right. It's so like a space rather than a community itself. It's like, here's the
Mhm.
space. I want to open up the space, and everyone just feels the call and they come together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's like, that beacon of light. It's like, we're here, we've got the community, and even on a soul level, like there's going to be like the reunion. We talked about this too, but even how you and I met, like we met
Mm-hmm.
speaking in the
Mm-hmm.
UK, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I really like her. And
Yep.
like that would have been so random, but nothing is random or a
No.
coincidence.
And I had the sense that I was like, we're going to see each other again, and
Yeah,
then I saw you doing your Avalon retreats, and I go, oh, we are definitely going to see each other again.
yeah. And here we are, Oracle
Here we
Fest,
are.
and
Here we are.
it will be like that too. I feel like, um, yeah, there's going to be people that are finding each other again in this lifetime. And that's the
Mm,
beauty of online. In person is wonderful. It has a different level of intimacy that you can still have online. It's a
mhm,
little different,
mhm.
but it just opens up the space, because if we think about being here on Earth, it's, well, okay, so it's huge, but it's such a small world. That's cliche. But think of the souls that are all over. Like, we are these beacons of light. We're not just all crammed into one corner or, one
Exactly.
section of the earth. We're spread out everywhere. So when there's spaces that are created like this online for us to join together, it makes it a lot easier. It's like, hi.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it is easier for everyone as well, because also I find sometimes people can be more comfortable in their own homes absorbing these messages
Yeah.
and creating shifts and making changes. So getting to attend in the space of your own home, or if you're in the VIP category, you get all the replays, you can watch them anytime. It gives this like accessibility to returning to that source as well. Yeah. And people can join us from any
You
country, which
just
is amazing.
Sorry for interrupting. You were just
Oh,
reading my mind. I was like, oh, like what are some logistics of this for replays or for accessing the video? So you said VIP.
yeah.
Please tell us more. What are the tiers? What does that look like?
Yes. So I've actually, it'll be probably out by the time this podcast is out, my guess, because I'm working on it today and tomorrow. But
Oh,
I've just created like a name your price, pay what you can basic option. So if you just want to take part live in the event, like show up and to glean everything during that weekend, it's any price you choose from $11 to $99. And so it's whatever makes sense, because it didn't make sense for me to have like the 99 when I went, well, I just want more people to be here and to not feel, but there is a value as well to all that is
the-
coming in motion. Yeah, what's getting put together. And so there is that higher access of the VIPs who they get the replays for as long as you want. So you can always go back to these replays, which I think is great. And year after year, you can go back to, refresh yourself with 2024 before 2025, which I think would be fun. One of my clients is suggesting that there be a watch party in her area of people getting together to
Oh,
watch OracleFest events. I thought that is so cute. So I would love to see those popping up as well. A fun way to be like in person, but also online. And so the VIPs also would get access if there are live readings, then they would get access to be part of the Zoom room that actually gets to be chosen for those as well. So you're a bit more richly a part of that conversation. And you also get a VIP, there's the Tending the Ancestral Fire Shamanic Ancestral Healing Workshop series that I'm running, and as well as an Align Your Energy program in the spring. So it like automatically continues the work and continues to solidify the things that you were inspired by. And then the mystical market, some of the vendors will have coupons or discounts for the VIPs as well. So there's like a lot of stuff in the VIP. Actually, everyone of our first tickets were all VIP. The couple people who got a basic ticket immediately switched to VIP when they knew about the other pieces. So,
yeah.
but I really welcome anyone who is also like, if finances are not, in your favor at the moment, to be able to still take part for 11, 22, $33, whatever. I do these repeating numbers because people love them, but
Yeah.
it's the most logical. It's like, it's all arbitrary, but it will,
Yeah.
it will resonate with someone. And if that makes sense, then you never know, that person could be also like an OracleFest speaker in a year or two, because that was the time that they needed that inspiration. So I do believe in this model, working for all of us in time. Yeah. Yeah. And there are like the logistical aspects of this as well are that it's not possible for everyone to be live. So that's also the advantage of being in the VIP category, is that you do have that any time, because I know that can be a challenge, especially because we are worldwide. It's not a
Yeah.
problem on this side of the world where I'm in Ontario now, because Darren Austin Hall joins us from Costa Rica. That's great. It's great. You can be like in a jungle environment and somehow join us. That's great. But it can be difficult when you go over UK. One of our speakers actually is in Australia as well, so we are spread over.
Yeah.
But it can be difficult for us to all get the same timing. So that's certainly the advantage of the VIP in my mind.
Oh, it feels like a no-brainer, but at the same time, it's like working with what you have in that moment.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
a lot of benefits to even have that integration, because
Yeah.
that's so important too. You go to these festivals or these workshops, or you have a healing session, and it's like, but there is, there is more that can be done after that to like maintain that or to sustain that,
Yeah.
whereas sometimes we forget about that, or you
Mhm.
just get swirled back into life and that integration time, but then like the revisiting of the work is very, very important.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention something too, which is I thought about that VIP thing, and I know how my life works sometimes, which is I love a good payment plan because I'd rather see something smaller increments, but I know it's still going to easily be paid off. So I did
Yeah.
also create a 3-month payment plan for the 212
Oh,
VIP option because it doesn't. I don't think that anyone in this community is going to pull
yeah.
out after OracleFest and say, "Oh, I'm going to stop making the payments." I just don't think I don't believe that that's true of our community, or that it would hinder the vision still coming through. And so,
Oh,
yeah, so I've created that as well. So a few people have taken advantage of that, and that'll be on the site soon as well.
oh, beautiful. Ooh, okay. So how can they find Oracle Fest? What are and I'll have that in the show notes too.
Sure.
However,
Yeah, oraclefest.com. How easy is that?
woo!
I know.
I'm amazed it existed, but like, were
It hit
you
me
in
like a
shock?
lightning bolt. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I really was. I was sitting here and like I was sitting and it felt like a Newton with the apple hitting on the head moment where I was like, "Oh, eureka," or, whatever. And it felt like a lightning bolt and I went oraclefest.com. It's probably taken.
Yeah.
But I'll look up just in case. And it wasn't, and it was just not. The bigger competitor that I have is Oracle, the software company, though. That's pretty funny.
Well,
And I go, we are not in the same field, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be alongside them. Why not?
and you got the social media handle is Oracle
Yeah,
Fest as well.
OracleFest.
Right?
Yeah, OracleFest on YouTube, OracleFest on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
know.
Spirit.
No kidding.
Because
No
you would
kidding.
you
I
would
got
assume.
Yeah, yeah, you would. You would think I got lucky. I really do. I feel I got blessed. It just, it and it
Yeah.
found me and kept tugging on me for a reason. And it was, now's the time. And yeah, it's funny. I'm not a huge domain name collector, but there's a couple ones that dropped in the last year that I went, how are they not
Yeah.
taken? So for
Yes.
anyone who thinks that like all the ideas and all the ways of doing things are taken, I've never seen someone with Empath Energetics have the same model that I have. I've never seen someone with the same course even now, and I've done it. This is like the 7th 8th round, going into the 8th round next year. Never seen anyone
Yeah.
copy that. No one's had Oracle Fest. These were ideas fresh, ready, and so also ideas will find you, and
Yeah.
it's your duty to just open up and say, well, maybe maybe look up the URL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a funny story about URLs. The whole reason my company is Heart 2, the number 2 journey, is because Heart 2, TO, heart to heartjourney.com was gone. And
Mm.
maybe a year and a half ago, I was just randomly, I was like, I'm going to look it up and it's available. I bought it. Went having
So
a
they were sitting with
it.
it. They didn't like do much with it, and then
No.
interesting.
They, but I must admit, I might have some domains like hanging out that I'm not using. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have one that is definitely getting used this year, and it was mostuniquespas.com. And I was like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I just love website building. I'm a project galley, but Oracle Fest
Oh,
just came in hot and fast, needed to take precedence. So yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting how they just sort of come in and find you. You never know. Never know. Or maybe you let go of one at one point, and then that's exactly what someone else was needing.
exactly. Yeah. And so if to even like bring into that
Hmm.
trust, trusting the process, trusting the guidance. We're going to pull some cards for Oracle Fest. We've already done some with you and the mountain
Yes.
chat, and it was very exciting.
Maybe we should. It was so exciting. I'm wondering if we
Yeah.
should pull Oracle Fest cards for the in-person big event to
Ooh,
understand
okay.
more about the big event, because
Let's do
that's
that.
insight I need. If you want to Oracle for me, I'm here. Let me sit back.
Well, and something that we could share as well, just in terms of being oracles, at OracleFest as well, if you're hearing messages for someone else, they could be applicable to you, like even though it's for that person. So yes, we're pulling cards for Kate. We're pulling cards for OracleFest for an in-person experience. However, like what if you're dreaming about having some sort of mystical fair or mystical fest, and you're listening to this right now?
Do it. We need more. We need so much more. I'll never view you as competition. I always think we need more. More is good.
Perhaps some of these messages, ooh, perhaps some of the, ooh, girl, some of these messages, ooh,
You're just like me. You react so much to
I get
cards.
so excited. Well, okay, where to start? Where do we even start? Can I say, as you see the cards, they all have a very specific like color theme.
Purple, just like OracleFest.
You got resiliency
Again?
but
Wow.
yeah, divine child. Wait, I need to put these back. Okay, we're
Okay.
just and the underworld. Okay,
Ooh.
but similar kind of messaging a little bit. So we have 4 cards, but they made a pyramid again. Before it was a triangle, but this time it's like 3 pillars on the bottom going to the top. So with the intention for this to be in that more festival in person feel, the overall theme we would say of that is the divine child. So heart connection, true self, innocence. So that feels like that homecoming as well. That
My
feels
name,
like, wait, what?
my name actually means innocent. My Caitlin means pure and innocent. That's so
And
precious.
that's the middle one too,
Yeah.
which is interesting because it's like, okay, see, yeah. So it is like that sense of, well, and I'm hearing like that innocence that children have. So it's just like excitement and awe and wonder and openness. It doesn't feel jaded. It doesn't feel fearful. It
Yes.
just feels like opening and expansive and being held. It's like, it almost feels like this is OracleFest being held by the divine. But then at the same time, this is going to be each soul coming into that space, being held in by the divine and being surrounded by light, but being that emanation of light too. Oh, this feels so lovely. So
And
lovely.
playful. I love the idea that we're all playing
It's
together.
playful. And with that playfulness, like where we're saying it wasn't jaded, that it is like more of this where you don't have those like ego trips that can happen at times, or where you have to be a certain way. Like it just like it literally is where the cosmic children are coming to play. Like that is what it feels more like. And the bottom pillars almost feel like they're telling a story. It's like the one on the left and the one on the right are forming together to make the center middle pillar. So we'll show this one first. This is the alchemist. So being the magician, being the creatrix, being able to bring any vision, dream, desire into form, knowing that you have that ability, knowing that if there are those dark craters, you have the ability to transmute that. So whatever shadows are there, whatever past pain is there, it's being transmuted to reclaim power. So this is going into the underworld, going into perhaps those areas that there has been so much resistance or even not fully being able to embrace. And it feels like an embrace. This feels like that as well. And then our resiliency card. Hey.
Knew it. We knew one of the repeats was going to come up here because
Yeah,
this was the overarching card yesterday.
yeah, this was the head card of what we talked about yesterday. So this is the adaptability, being fluid, having that magic, sharing. There was so much about sharing. And where I was saying when I'm looking at these, they're on either side of the alchemist. So it's almost like everything that has been gone through, everything that you've gone through has been leading up to that reclamation of that personal power, reclamation of soul gifts, embodiments of that, because that's what the magician or the alchemist is as well. It's the embodiment. It's bringing, well, and it's the oracle, the channel, the vessel, but it's bringing the ethereal into the physical manifest. So people like OracleFest in general is definitely going to be unearthing many aspects of self, unveiling, because I just see there's and this is happening so much that where the priests and the priestesses are no longer hiding. The oracles are taking the veils off to come forward. So the festival itself, we could say it is this journey to the underworld, but it's more than that. It's like this journey going in and through and out, like your wormhole, actually.
It's so like that. It really is so like that. I keep getting brought back to that wormhole, and it's
Yeah.
fascinating. And also there's like at the top of this mountain there's like a reflective pool, and every time you look into the pool you receive something different. It's like a puddle kind of like in the ground, and it's like a looking glass, but also like a portal, and also like a pool that holds things, which feels very underworldy energy to me, and also very alchemist.
I just had to pull one more card, as you said,
Yeah.
reflective pool.
Yeah.
Um, the council is guiding this girl.
I love I read this book, The
The
Way of the
council's
Council. Yeah. Oh, the council.
they're there. There what it's like it's all, and when I see this card, you're that crystal where they're bringing this through to put it through, and you're the receiver of that transmission at the top of the mountain, but then it's all coming through, well, to the people that will be there, to the
Mhm.
facilitators, the attendees.
It's a mighty big council in the non-ordinary, let me tell you that. If we had a conference in the non-ordinary, that would be it. That would need a big room.
I don't know if there's a room big enough
No,
to be
the
filled up.
galactic room. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, so that, yeah, we know it's going to be an in-person
Mhm.
experience as well, but it's almost like the in-person will go into deeper layers and will create that space to go into deeper layers. Not that online won't, like online is going to be quite, um, I'm hearing exhilarating.
Exhilarating. But for
Exhilarating.
those who are shy, it's also just gonna be lovely and meaningful.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, but there will be different layers of where you go and how you go, and you get to choose.
Mhm.
That's the other beautiful thing. You get to choose where you want to be in that whole experience, knowing that you're part of the whole
Yes.
experience, though.
And if it's in person, you get to have body work. You can get a massage or something. That's the main
Mm.
difference I see, right? You can pick up the items, you can receive a body treatment. Those are the in-person differences that are major.
And dancing, right?
I know, but we
Smooth.
can dance online. We just can't dance with each other.
Okay.
So like
No.
touch dancing. I can put my hand up to yours when you dance in person. It's not as fun over Zoom.
Oh
Maybe
my
we get
love.
a bit more ecstatic in person.
Yes. Oh, that would be lovely.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. See, now we're like springboarding into, and it's not the Delulu realm, it's the future realms.
It is. It is. That is all doable. That is all doable.
Yes.
And especially the more I see community growing here and just saying or gathering, really, it's just gathering. These communities exist, and then they're saying, "Hey, I also feel like I fit in at Oracle Fest. I also feel like I'd love to be there." Then that's
Yeah.
exactly what fuels this to be able to come into the physical fruition.
Hmm. If there was one thing that Oracle Fest had to say, as you are one of the oracles of Oracle Fest, what is the message that Oracle Fest would like to share to the souls that have been waiting for it?
Mm. You know what OracleFest always says to me is the time is now. OracleFest
Mm.
always says through me and to me, the time is now. We are ready. And there's something about remembering who we are and what we came here to do.
Mm.
So you'll be reminded of that. You'll be connected to your inner self and to others. And the time is now.
Yes. Mic drop.
OracleFest mic drop from the mountain. The microphone rolls down the mountain.
Yes. Oh, but it doesn't get lost because there's
No.
oracles that are like, hey, I got it. Oh,
Hey,
I got it. It like makes
exactly.
it way back up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this was so lovely having you here. And once again, honored to be part of Oracle Fest. And I am looking forward to, to who we're going to be connecting with up on the mountain, near the sun, like in all of the beautiful places and spaces. So thank you so much for joining us for Heart Path Podcast. This is, the first of many. This is not the last that we'll
I
be
hope
seeing you
so. I love talking to
here.
you. I'll do it anytime.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to today's episode. And before you go, I wanted to offer you an opportunity for reflection and contemplation. And if you wanted to join us at Oracle Fest, check out the show notes below. The link to join us is there. Was there anything in this episode that inspired you or that you can use in your life moving forward? If so, what was it? Was there something about this episode that made you feel uncomfortable, charged, perhaps even triggered? Was there anything that was brought up in this episode that made you feel seen and understood? You can take a moment to bring those reflections into the sacred space of your heart or journal, and you can share them with me on social media or slide into the DMs. I'd love to hear how it's impacted you. If you'd enjoyed this episode, please share with a friend, like, and subscribe. I appreciate it, and you. You are the light of the world, and it's time to shine and rise together. Lots of love. Mwah.